embarrassment here. Are you evaluating or just being encouraged? I found, for me, as you know, that evaluating to me is key. It's more important even than speeches in terms of the value that it gives, not only to people who are speaking, but in everyday life, how the learning how to evaluate can help and assist and work with groups, work with children. It really is an amazing quality to have. What I'd like to do is spend the time dividing it into two, and the first part to spend about what it's like for you being evaluated, what you would like from an evaluator, what you have got from an evaluator, and then looking at the other way, saying as an evaluator, how best to put over what you want to say, and the things that may be going wrong. So I'd like to start with our pretty assistant up here. I'd like to know from you, what do you require from an evaluator? Yes?
Honesty.
Yeah. It's funny, it was the first on my list too. Yes? Just keep going, just don't do it.
Encouragement.
Encouragement, yes.
Advice.
Sorry?
Advice.
Advice.
Practical ways of doing things better.
Practicalness, yes.
Criticism.
Oh.
Criticism?
So you can make you better.
Recommendation, we call that.
Yes, yes. Yes. Or critique.
Recommendation.
Yes. Anything else? Yeah.
How to develop further.
How to develop. Right. Anything else? Yes.
Other stories on quotations I could use if I'm used to speech later in a competition.
Can you say that again?
More quotations and stories to add to.
So you want somebody to extend what
Yes.
you're saying with good ideas and
More
yeah.
quotations and stories on the theme.
Anything else? You're looking worried, Peter.
Not worried at all.
This is the any other suggestions?
What we feel is missing.
What we feel is missing.
What's that? What's that?
What we might be. What we
To
feel
make it
you're
better, yeah.
Okay.
To improve it.
Maybe.
The improvement, I think.
Improvement.
Mm. Thank you. Yes.
I don't know if this makes sense, but depth, not just looking at the surface, but actually saying, all right, this is what I've suggested, or this is what I think we can improve on, but here's why. And giving a little bit of background.
Wise,
colour
yes.
to
Absolutely. And maybe included in that is the understanding of exactly what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So maybe it's an understanding of the speaker, an understanding of you. Maybe.
Do you want examples of how to do it differently?
Yeah. Oh, examples, yes. Are you all right?
Examples could be, it's not exactly what I was getting at, depth in the sense of why are you saying what you're saying, why are you saying that this should be an improvement, what is the
Qualifying it.
if you like, the technical aspects behind it.
So,
Yeah, I was going to say examples or demonstrations.
demonstrations of it.
Catchphrases and certain words they might pick out in particular that they liked.
All right. Okay. So highlighting very much on what's been done well.
And another
else?
one.
Yes.
Recognizing the personal ability, which is a different
Right.
person to
So
person.
how far you can actually go.
Yeah.
And how much to encourage that. Yeah.
So you would say being honest is being truthful is the same as honesty.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And here we go. Thank you so much. I like that. Oh, beautiful writing.
You're writing, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can we have an honesty here, an honesty? How many of you feel that that's what you get in an evaluation? Okay?
Not all of it.
No, not all of it, yeah? So you do feel that that's coming over, you are understood. Do you ever feed back the person who has given you the evaluation and talk about it and say, how have you done that, why have you done that? This is what I was getting at, because I feel that perhaps that's a very useful thing to do. Don't just leave it where the evaluator is, take them up on it. Maybe not as viciously as I do, but maybe so. Because it's very important that you get it and you can look at it and think, that makes sense. And you can be quite forgiving of the person who evaluates you if they're a new evaluator. But it really, really is key to improvements, as we all know. That is, especially, you think they've keyed into me, they know what I'm capable of, and they're going to push me just a little bit. Because what I found, when I said about being kind, it is very easy, and it's very nice, and especially, I suppose, with newcomers, to say nice things. And very easy to pinpoint that. And especially if you're not finding very much to evaluate, so you stick to how well it's being done. But actually, as we all know, you don't learn from things that are going right, you learn from the things that you're weak at. So I don't think you're doing anybody any favours to be that kind. And I've heard such wonderful evaluations extolling the virtues of a speaker, which no doubt are valid, but are actually a very little support in terms of progressing. And there's also our assumptions that maybe if somebody's better, okay, well, it's okay, you know, we just leave them to it. We don't need to do much of an evaluation. But as you progress, the more you need that insight that says, look, you think you're all right, but you and I know you're not. We know actually you're resting on your laurels, this is what you can achieve. And I think it really is important because you can drive established established members away because they think, well, what am I getting from this? And I'm just sitting there and everybody's saying, well, actually, that's so good, but all you're doing is repeating the same thing over and over again.
So another heading you want down there perhaps is balance.
Balance. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Because your evaluation will vary from those who you mustn't frighten off because it's early days.
Yes.
Those who are just beginning to get their feet under the table.
Yes.
And then you can hard knock those that should know better.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the other thing is too, that we have I have noticed that if you are, if you like, too kind to new people, that sometimes they're built up too much. So when they fail maybe at a competition, it's very hard for them to take because they don't see the balance of where they are, where they're standing. They just say, look, I've come and I've been encouraged and I'm told that I'm great, which is all lovely. But at a competition, suddenly, if you don't get that, and it's a hard thing to take when you're thinking, oh, I'm really here, I've really got there. And it's quite a hard knock. You've got to be quite well established to take the knocks that come in competitions. Any questions on that before we move on? Yeah.
I would say conversely, however experienced you are, I think you can still be sensitive to being evaluated and things you could do differently, and I think people can still be wounded. I think you just have to couch what you say carefully.
Yes, yes, that's not understanding. I think that's absolutely said. But I think it's the idea of looking actually how you want to say it, what you want to say. And it is difficult, but unless you get feedback afterwards, you won't know if you've actually hurt somebody. It needs someone to come back and say, by the way, what did you mean by that? Because I'm not happy with that. So again, the feedback is, and I think it improves you as an evaluator. Are you okay if we move on? We go on to being an evaluator, and you know that my big thing is about structure. And of course, the more I see it, the more I do emphasise, it really is something when you can just talk to the audience and say, this is what we can learn from the commendations. And I always turn to that person when it's a recommendation, because it is solely to them. And then you can do your backup at the end. And I think it does give you a structure. I know in competition sometimes it's done a different way and it's addressed to everybody, not just to the person, but I don't think it works in the same way. If you look at the way that a speech is made up, you have made up, well, we have content, yes, and what else do we have? There are 3 elements to a speech. So there's content, what else?
Beginner and conclusion.
Sorry? No, more than that.
Opening.
No.
Delivery,
Going.
The objective.
Keep going.
delivery,
Conclusion.
Thank you. Content, delivery and presentation. So when you look at how you are evaluating, you've only got the 3 to look at. Quite a number I notice, it's easier to concentrate on content. It's sort of safer. And I don't know whether you've noticed, but quite a lot of evaluators, to feel safe, repeat almost entirely what the speech was. You know, so Peter has just come up, and this is what he said, and this is what he's talked about, which is fine if you're making a point somewhere along the line, but it's also a safety and a security that you're not going to talk about anything else. So I would pick up, and I'm not good at doing that, picking up at certain things about content, and thinking, well, that was a good phrase, because I can't remember them off by heart. And that's difficult when you want to do an evaluation off by heart. When you're looking at presentation, or you're looking at delivery, if you are new, may I recommend you just concentrate on one of them, either the content, or the delivery, or the presentation, so you're not bowled over by what's there. You just think, I tell you what, I'm just going to look at the way she moves around the stage. I'm just going to concentrate on the words that come out, and it somehow makes it easier to see. In a competition, sorry, yes.
What's the difference between presentation and delivery?
Delivery is how you take your words and put those words over. Presentation is how I give you the whole package. So the delivery to me, I mean, you may disagree, but it's just about those words. How have you put them over well and use the right kind of language? Are you sincere about it? But that presentation is the end. Again, in competitions, I have a problem because I find I don't know, and I know it gives you a marking, but I never know whether to give a higher mark to somebody who's better in content than they are in delivery, or better in delivery than they are in content. And normally that's where the 2 are. You see the change of you see, yes, I'm very used to speaking, I'm not used to presenting, but I know the words that come out. And it's very hard to suddenly step back from the content and not be bowled over by it and think, well, yes, that was good, but actually how did they put it over? So I find that there's a lot of security in that. Any questions on any of those elements?
Just, if I may,
Yeah, you can say what you like.
Nah.
All right, okay.
An evaluation, there are 2 types of evaluation. There is one for a competition in front of judges.
Yes.
And there is one for like a club. When you're having an evaluation for a club, 9 times out of 10, the person who was the speaker is usually known by the evaluator.
Yes.
When you go to a competition, the evaluation you're making is on a speech you've never heard of before, and you don't know the person. So you don't know that he's having necessarily, or she, an off day or a good day.
Right.
Whether it's a cup final or about to get demoted from the Premier. It's that you don't know.
Okay.
And having been a judge in evaluations before now, you are given very simplistically the various points that are associated with various topics within the 3 categories that you presented. They break down another 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
And you are given 15 points for that, and then they said 10 to 15 is excellent, 6 to 9 is
yes.
right, which is something that anybody who is trying to learn and has never been to a competition is never going to get anywhere near, because they don't understand that.
Yes.
And perhaps, it's a very good point that you brought up here, we should introduce, for example, how to break down evaluating an evaluator.
Yes. Yes. I think probably it would be a very good idea. But one thing I was going to pick up, at a competition, sometimes it's a reputation. And people think, they won last year, therefore the chances are they're going to win this year. Therefore, the weight is towards them rather than starting from scratch. So you're known by reputation. Well, you know, it can't be bad, Denise. You've won for the last 3 out of 5 years. So there's a lot of competitions, but I think it really raises the standard. And as long as you don't have expectations, I think it's a great way to go. Yes.
I think maybe what I'm going to say is related to what Peter just said, but as an evaluator here, I struggle sometimes when I'm evaluating people that are very good, because I can sort of say the good things they've done, but I find it quite difficult to actually pick up on things that should improve. So maybe if there was some kind of criteria that you could actually use to...
Yeah, and the other thing, that's why I'm so keen that, you know, when I say you introduce a speaker, that you also introduce the saying what their personal goal is. Because I think if nothing else, an audience can pick up on the personal goal, because it's normally something quite sort of easy. They'll say, look, I haven't been given eye contact, or in his case, your case of doing that. So you think, well, there's a security there. You don't know what to say. Pick up on that. But I absolutely agree with you. And it's very hard. And I've actually heard even in competitions, people say, you're so good, I have got no recommendations, and you know you're disqualified for that. So it's you need to find them, but it is hard. It's really hard. And also, if you're enjoying a speech, sometimes you lose sight of what it is. But to my mind, when I heard about people who do thesi, what is that the plural of theses? Or theses?
Theses.
Yes, theses. It does sound a bit. Sorry. Yeah. I thought in my stupidity that it's people coming up with new things, until somebody said, no, it isn't. It's taking what's there and moving it forward, just slightly. And I feel that about evaluations and people standing there. I thought an evaluation is taking somebody and helping them to move just that little bit more forward. And it's not about trying to do anything miraculous. And you can always, if you look at evaluating like that, you can just think, if they did that just slightly better, it doesn't have to be anything mind-blowing. And it means they can pick up on that small thing and feel they've achieved a lot by doing that the next time. And something that I really think is important is that we follow up. So if somebody, for all of us, if somebody has been evaluated and they say, I don't know if I can use you, Richard, and say, Richard, you've overused your props. You know,
I use the word cognitive, so I'm going to interrupt. And you told me last time not to use that. So there we go. There's a point.
There's a point.
I used the word cognitive, and I wasn't meant to. And when I said it, I looked at you, and in my head, I was thinking, she was going to slap me. So that's the point.
And it really is very, very good, and I think we should do that. Is pick up on something from somebody else has said, or you said at a last evaluation. So we can all see someone's progress. And we're all in it together. I think the great benefit of this club is how we all have clubbed together and we're all supportive of each other. So let's take it one stage further and make sure that our evaluations are that. And saying, look, I noticed 3 speeches back, look at you now. Because I think we've got up and coming speakers who really have moved the goalposts and are really moving on very fast. And that's all right, as long as we know we can contain it and we're encouraging them in the right way. Any more on that before how am I for time?
20 minutes.
10 minutes.
Oh yes, the other thing that I find difficult is that it's very easy for us to stand and think, if I was doing this speech, your speech, that speech, I'd do it this way. And it's quite easy sometimes to stand up and say, I do think this is the way you should do it. But it's not taking into account that person and their particular qualities. And their qualities are their way of doing it, not your way of doing it. So I try and stifle it, thinking, oh yeah, of course I could do better. Well, no, I don't think that.
But that's not the point of the evaluation. The point of the evaluation is to evaluate the person's interpretation of what they're saying.
Agreed,
not
but it doesn't always,
exactly.
But it doesn't always come out like that. I'm sure you've heard good and not so good evaluations. Plenty, yes. How do you all feel about evaluations? How do you feel? I understand how difficult they are. Have you all done a lot of evaluations?
I think I quite like if someone after a few sessions tells me that I have stopped or I need to move on certain things, or I have been repeatedly doing the same thing and I need to move on. So I think I need that hint and from somebody after. Yeah.
Well, you'll get that from the general evaluator at the end of the meeting.
I tend to avoid you.
I'm so sorry.
I tend to avoid them because I don't like being critical. I know you are critical.
You're not critical.
But you know, you think, oh, how would I tell that person that they could do it better? And I feel a bit...
I have to say, the way to gain experience is to do it outside of Toastmasters. And I know I've said it before, and I'm a bore and I'm a pain in the neck wherever I go. But wherever I go, I do evaluate. So I go to speeches of people who I know, don't know, and I don't feel I'm telling them because I know better, and I tell them that afterwards. I always go afterwards and say, would you like my opinion of how that was done? And sometimes you can pick something up like you couldn't hear at the back. There are things, and the speaker will say, nobody has ever told me. And I think it's so valuable, and you're not telling them off, you're evaluating. And I cannot begin to tell you how many free meals I've got from restaurants. I went into Prezzo on Saturday, and they've redone it, you know, it looks lovely. And I wrote to them saying, it's absolutely lovely, well done, here's your commendation, it looks really, really good, much lighter. But the food we had was absolutely awful. And I explained why. And back came an email within half an hour saying, I am so sorry, so value, I'm going to talk to the team, I'd love you to come in and have a free meal. To which I wrote back and saying, fine, but if it's the same food, I'm not coming. I haven't had a reply to that. I have to say, and where it came from was I was in Bristol many, many years ago, and I was in a hotel, and there was a wonderful woman on duty for, it's a hotel with all salesmen, so there was this sort of room of 100 salesmen first thing in the morning, all wanting to get out and all talking, and she managed it beautifully. And I said to her, I just want to tell you, I think you're absolutely magnificent the way you handled it. And she said, she laughed and she said, you know, I've been here 10 years and nobody in the company has ever said thank you. And I thought, it's a simple thing to say, please do, and it's magic for you, it really is magic, to work and to find a way of saying something, and it will improve the way you do, because you have to think about what you say. And you know, sometimes I think, oh God, here she comes again, but to heck with that, we're old and long enough to can take it. But if you don't practice it outside Toastmasters, it doesn't need practice yet.
Paul Carroll said, you don't even have to go anywhere to do it. You can turn on the radio, or even take an old speech like Winston Churchill in World War II. Is he pausing?
Yes.
Is he using alliteration?
Yes.
Just sit down and think what you would say.
Yes, but it's
well.
so much nicer to do it in person, isn't it? Yes, but absolutely. And that's also I do it with plays, you know. And you know, when somebody says, "Oh, I enjoyed that," but you think, "Well, why did you enjoy it? Why didn't you? What was it?" And I think the why question is so vital. You don't answer the whys, you don't get anywhere. And whys can take you in so many directions. But I do recommend it. And I'm not going to go on any longer because I think it's enough. But you know that my thing is about evaluating. I will sit here and say put your pens down in everything, but I think our standard has really grown in terms of speaking, don't you, and evaluating. And I'll end up by saying, look, I'm not evaluating or just being kind. You may be evaluating me now. I'd rather you were kind.